December 2nd. And once again, on a Sunday, Joe Biden decided to do something extreme and crazy. And we're going to talk about it right now. I'm sure you guys have already heard what's going on. It's not going to be anything new, but there's some interesting information that's coming out about the fact that Joe Biden has decided to pardon his son, Hunter Biden, from literally everything going back to almost since his day of birth. He has given a pardon to Hunter, the same pardon that they swore up and down would not be given. And before we get into anything, I just want to comment the fact that so many people are saying, if you had the ability to pardon your child so that nothing bad could happen to them, you would do it too as a parent. No. If my child was a pedophile, I would not pardon them. Yet Joe Biden looks at his son, Hunter, and sees all the disgusting, disturbing things he has done and thinks that it is a good idea to pardon him. Just please make that make sense. There is a line, and I don't care if people agree with this or not. There is a line where being a parent still, how do I want to do this one? Being a parent requires being the bad guy sometimes. You cannot always be their friend, number one. You cannot always clean up their messes, number two. And you can't always look at them like they are little angels who have never done anything wrong and would never do anything wrong. What happens now is when you have a parent who will continuously clean up the crap of the child never learns to stop crapping everywhere. That's what it comes down to. And Joe Biden giving Hunter Biden a pardon, all it does is say that Hunter Biden can continue being a shit stain on society, a disgusting, sick human being, and it's okay because daddy's going to take care of everything. What happens when Joe Biden finally kicks it? When he kicks the can, he's done. He's 6 feet under. What happens to Hunter Biden then? Who's going to take care of him then? Who's going to help him get away with all this disgusting stuff that he does? Just saying, whatever. I found this little article here, and it says, can a president pardon himself? The only reason I'm reading this part to you, because I think this is very important. I know it's about pardoning themselves, but listen to this. I'm going to read you just two little parts here. Under Article 2, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, the president holds the formidable power to grant pardons. All right, we already know this. This authority encompasses a broad spectrum from full pardons to amnesty for large groups, commutation to reduce punishment severity, reprieves to delay punishments, and remission of fines. However, this power has its boundaries. It excludes offenses related to impeachment and only applies to federal crimes against the United States. Okay, these are important things to remember. There is also a twist worth mentioning. A pardon is not automatic. It requires acceptance, implying guilt akin to a plea bargain. Individuals can even reject a pardon by asserting their Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination instead. So let's just think about it this way. Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden basically means that Hunter is saying he's guilty of everything. He has to basically say he's guilty of everything in order to be pardoned, right? So there's that. But here's what's crazy to me. I have so many different notes here. Here's what's crazy to me. Let me get to the one that matters. Y'all, so much has been going on with this whole Hunter Biden pardon. Let's go in order. Let's go in order. I'm trying to go in order. Like I said, there's so much. On what day was this? January, February, March, April, May. On May 31st of 2024, this year, Joe Biden himself posted on X, "No one is above the law." No one is above the law. This is the X post that Joe Biden himself made, not as POTUS, but as Joe Biden, the man, Joe Biden, the father. No one is above the law. And I would like to read to you this proposed community note on X. By pardoning his son Hunter, not merely for a single crime, but for all actual or potential crimes he may or may not have created over an 11-year period, Joe Biden has made clear that some people are, in fact, above the law. Pretty accurate. Joe Biden, no one is above the law, in parentheses, except Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is above the law. Now, here's the thing. Let's think about it this way. What if this had been Barron Trump? What if this had been Eric Trump? What if this had been Donald Trump Jr.? What if this had been anybody for Donald Trump? They would eat him alive for this, especially if any of those were known for it to be drug related, for it to be pedophilia related, any of those things. Do you even understand how the left would be losing their absolute minds if this was reversed right now? But the fact that Joe Biden not only granted this pardon to Hunter Biden yesterday, he then took his happy little ass up a flight of stairs onto a plane and took off to Africa. Not here to say anything about it, do nothing. I'm just saying, there's a lot here. I'd just like to remind everybody, little picture here of Hunter Biden that came off of a laptop. That's all I'm going to show you. That's it. Just understand exactly what that is. Leave it up there too long. It might flag something on YouTube. We definitely don't want that. But there's a lot going on there. I want to read to you when I can find this. This is Charlie Kirk is where I saw this first. He says, breaking, Biden to pardon his son Hunter. And this is Charlie Kirk saying, honestly, I don't think this is something worth getting mad over. A father should look after his son. Joe has been mistreated by the Democrat Party and disrespected. This is the one thing he's actually always cared about. I have to disagree with Charlie Kirk. Generally speaking, I agree with Charlie, but he said, honestly, I don't think this is something worth getting mad over. I think it's something worth getting extremely pissed over. I understand that Joe Biden wants to, do the fatherly thing and also give the Democrat Party two fingers up because of the coup and knocking him out and everything else. But to do this is a slap in the face to children everywhere, a slap in the face to morals. There's nothing okay with this at all. That's my personal opinion, and I think is extremely worth getting mad over. So there's that. I want to read this to you. This is the statement from President Joe Biden. All right, you guys ready for this? If you hadn't seen it or heard it, we're going to go through it. He says, today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, people are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. The charges in his cases came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. They'll be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. Y'all, for that man to sit there and say that they singled him out because of, they singled out his son because of his dad. It's like, do they not hear how hypocritical they sound? What have they been doing to Donald Trump for the last year, the last however long, singling him out because of who he is, not because of anything's actually done wrong, bringing about bogus charges in Fulton County, bringing about bogus charges in New York, all these things that they have done to Donald Trump. And yet Joe Biden's fine with that, but he has a problem with the fact that they're going after his son Hunter for bogus charges. Hello. Listen, I want you to listen to this. It's only a couple seconds long. If I can get it to play, let's get the volume going up over here. And I want you guys to just hear this. And then I'm going to play another little clip for you. Listen, play.
Son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Your son.
Okay. Yes, he has ruled out a pardon for his son. Yes, he will accept the plea. That's what he said when all of this started. Yes, he has ruled out a pardon. He would not do a pardon, right? That's what he said. I'm not going to pardon Hunter. I'm not going to do it. Then let's just real quick listen to good old Karine Jean-Pierre here. If I can get the volume up. Listen, just listen.
The president would not pardon or communicate sentences for his son, Hunter. I want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying
it's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
So liars, that's what we're just going to call every single person now in the White House. Karine Jean-Pierre, Joe Biden himself, they are all liars because they've sat there on, in interviews at the press, whatever the crap it's called. And they have lied to the American people numerous times about the fact that he would not pardon Hunter. And then of course he's got 40 something days left in, 50 days left in. And the first thing he does as he gets towards the end, he goes, you know what? F them all, screw them all, pardon the kid, take my happy ass to Africa, and then just make the decision and walk away from it. Don't answer any questions. They've already said there won't be any press briefings for a few days. There's not going to be any of these, no Karine Jean-Pierre for a few days. Nothing's going on. It is a very unpresidential thing to do, my personal opinion on that one. But what's great, y'all, you want to know what's great? Let me explain to you what is great. Here we go. I've got it here. I've pulled it up here. Wait 1 second. I've got to get back to it. Oh, here we go. So this just came out about an hour ago. According to this, breaking, special counsel rejects dismissal of Hunter Biden case after Joe Biden's pardon. In a stunning legal motion, DOJ, Department of Justice, prosecutors are opposing Hunter Biden's request to dismiss his indictment, rejecting the notion that a presidential pardon erases the charges against him. This is the quote. The defendant pled guilty to all the charges in the indictment on September 5th, 2024, Special Counsel David Weiss's filing stated. According to the declaration filed on his behalf, the defendant again acknowledged his guilt in accepting the act of clemency. Prosecutors emphasized that Hunter Biden had not formally docketed the pardon, stating, and here's the quote, if media reports are accurate, the government does not challenge that the defendant has been the recipient of an act of mercy, but that does not mean the grand jury's decision to charge him based on a finding of probable cause should be wiped away as if it never occurred. The filing must also push back on Hunter Biden's claim of improper motives behind the charges, declaring, and I quote, it also does not mean that his charges should be wiped away because the defendant falsely claimed that the charges were the result of some improper motive. No court has agreed with the defendant on these baseless claims, and his request to dismiss the indictment finds no support in the law or the practice of this district. And then it says, the special counsel's firm rejection underscores that the charges spanning tax crimes and gun violations are not erased by clemency. Prosecutors concluded unequivocally, quote, for the foregoing reasons, the defendant's motion to dismiss the indictment should be denied. Hunter Biden's legal battles are not over yet as prosecutors dispute the implications of his father's constitutionally dubious pardon. Y'all, and in case you're curious, here is the proof of this filing. It is here. We have the proof written, typed out right there. So Joe Biden can pardon Hunter all day long, but it doesn't mean it's going to stick. It's like a noodle. You know, when you're cooking noodles, you're supposed to throw one on the wall. And I think if it sticks, that means it's done, a wet noodle. And if it doesn't stick, that means it needs to cook a little bit more. Throw Hunter Biden on the wall and see what happens. Is it going to stick like he's pardoned, everything's done? Or is he about to fall into a pile of shit that he has prepared for himself and have to deal with the consequences of his actions, as he should? Joe Biden pardoning him should be the man. Joe Biden talked about his legacy, bro. He talked about how his legacy, leaving the White House, is going to be how great of an economy he has brought. That's going to be his legacy. No, boo-boo. Your legacy is going to be that you have destroyed this country with open borders. Between you and Kamala Harris, you have destroyed this country with open borders. You have destroyed this country with your Build Back Better, which really means destroy, like, break it all down before you can build it back. You have destroyed this country with the amount of money you have given to Ukraine, which your son, your pardon is going to take away or help erase what he was doing with Ukraine in 2014 when Biden was vice president. The timelines are crazy for me to try to remember everything, but either way, what people are actually going to remember Joe Biden for is the fact that he had a coup pulled on him, that they thought that a dipshit woman like Kamala Harris was a better option for president than Joe Biden and put her in, that he decided that his pedophile son was worth pardoning. Those are the things that people are going to remember about Joe Biden. They're going to remember that he said to smack Republicans in the butt. Still not quite sure how that one works. That he doesn't know how to go upstairs without falling on his face. That he likes to wear Trump hats while hanging out at the fire departments of New York and taking it onto Air Force One with him. That he likes to, jaunt or jog away while in the Brazilian jungle with no direction of where he's going. A lot of things they're going to remember Joe Biden for, but being a good president, definitely not one of them. And doing good things for this country, sure as shit, not one of them. So there is that. Let's see what else we have. You guys having a good day? I hope so. For those of you who were in my live stream yesterday and I wasn't feeling the best, I'm still a little dizzy. So if you see me just randomly grabbing my head, it's just because my hands are really cold and it feels really good. Let's get back to what we're doing. Oh, let's see how this aged. So this is 2018 with Adam Schiff. Let's just take a listen to this. It's all of 46 seconds. It's worth a gander here. Just real quick. Let's just play this.
So the president's pardon of Scooter Libby, Congressman, has inspired you to propose new legislation. What exactly would it do?
What it would do is say that in the event the president pardons anyone in an investigation in which the president is a witness, a subject, or the target, those investigative files will all be turned over to the Congress. The Congress ought to know whether the president is using the pardon power to obstruct justice. The American people have a right to know. I think it is clearly constitutional. It doesn't prohibit him from granting a pardon, even a pardon he shouldn't grant. But it does say that we will be able to at least find out whether the president is using this power to shield himself from liability.
It offers transparency at the very least.
So just, didn't really age well since 2018 where he's talking about all this kind of stuff, because now are you going to have that same energy? Do you have that same energy for Joe Biden? You know what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. Just curious how that would play out right now. Let's see what else we have here, because there's so much going on. We've talked about Joe Biden. We talked about Hunter. I don't really have much else to say about them. There will be more later on. I can almost friggin' guarantee it. Oh, wait, there's one more. Then we're going to move over to something a little bit different. This is 9 minutes long. We're not doing all that. All right, I'll put a link. This is basically supercuts of Joe Biden saying he's not going to pardon Hunter, and it's just a whole mashup of that kind of stuff. I'll put it in a pinned comment later so you guys can see that. Benny Johnson did post, though, that Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter is not being received well by DNC operators. Oh, that's interesting. Says they're calling the pardon stupidly selfish, senile, bullshit, and just plain wrong. Democrats are calling Biden a serial liar, saying he destroyed his legacy. Hello, exactly what I said. They know how horrible this is. So this is Chris Cillizza, a colossally selfish decision that will allow every Trump supporter to note that Democrats say one thing and do another, which is what we've just noted. We've already noted it. Just so you're fully aware, the Democrats are hypocrites. That's nothing new. We've known that since day one. Rules for thee, but not for me. That's a Kamala Harris thing, right? So this is nothing new. Now, this one says, this is from Nate Silver. The White House consistently lied about this. Biden's stubborn insistence on running for re-election was perhaps the singular most important factor in Trump 2.0, and now he's kicking salt in the wound of the party brand he helped destroy. They are now saying that Joe Biden destroyed the Democrat Party, which may be true. Everything he's done over the last 4 years, I'm sure, has been an issue. But if you want to know who destroyed the Democrat Party, it was, you ready for it? I'm sure you guys already know. Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and whoever else was in line or in the room when they decided to put Kamala Harris on the Democrat ticket for president. That's who ruined the Democrats for everybody. Trying to convince people with even a freaking iota of a brain cell that Kamala Harris was somebody that should run this country, immediately let you know that the Democrats were dumb as shit and that they were trying to do whatever they could to stay in power so they could keep running whatever little schemes they're running behind the scenes. I don't know, like the money laundering to Ukraine, the child sex trafficking, the open borders so they could be easier to child sex traffic, things like that. That to me is what let everybody know that the party brand has been destroyed. Joe Biden had a lot to do with it, but Kamala Harris is the one. How about this? Joe Biden put it in the dumpster. Okay, he put it all in the dumpster and he left it there. Obama and Pelosi and everybody else came through and they put a little lighter fluid on it. And then they let Kamala Harris in it and she set that shit on fire. And it was done. The entire thing was burning. And now everybody wants to be a Republican because that's the only sane thing that makes sense. Okay. Now this person, Jared Polis, says, well, as a father, I certainly understand President Biden's natural desire to help his son by pardoning him. I am disappointed that he put his family ahead of the country. This is a bad precedent that could be used later. Used by later presidents and will sadly tarnish his reputation. When you become president, your role is pater familias of the nation. I don't even know what the hell that means. I'm not even gonna lie. Hunter brought the legal trouble he faced on himself, and one can sympathize with his struggles while also acknowledging that no one is above the law, not a president and not a president's son. And I agree with that. My child, if for some reason my child woke up one day and did a complete 180 and decided that she was going to be a shit stain on society and do horrible, horrible things, I, as her mother, would let her deal with the repercussions of her actions, because how else is she going to learn? Again, if you consistently bail out somebody, why would they ever learn to not get into situations that they need bailing out from? It doesn't make sense, right? And unfortunately, tough love sometimes is what is needed. You got to learn your lessons somehow. Joe Biden is the epitome of participation trophy that we're going through right now. Everybody right now, I got to calm down because I got way too many thoughts. We have become a society of instant gratification and no taking of responsibility for actions or anything else, and not willing to deal with the consequences of actions. Okay. The second we became a participation trophy society, where instead of, these kids, whether they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, doesn't matter, going out and playing these team sports, and you either are a winner or you are a loser. And instead it became everybody wins. Oh, you did such a good job. You did great. Here's your trophy for just showing up. The fuck is that? Why are we giving trophies for showing up? You did the bare minimum. Why should you get any recognition for it? There should not be a single iota of recognition. Your name shouldn't even make it into the roster. Like, if you're not going to do anything, you should not get any kind of reward for it. So now there is no incentive to work your ass off if the people who are doing the absolute most get the same recognition as the people doing the absolute least. There's no point, right? And that's what the last 4 years have taught this country. Not all of us, though. You and I, we know better, have taught the dregs of this country that all you have to do is just breathe. And that's all that matters. Like, you don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to do anything good. You don't have to be a decent human being because the government's just going to take care of you. Ew. Like, ew. Ew. My daughter is 15, right? And of course, she likes the boys. She's into the boys, whatever. And she'll tell me which one's cute and whatever else. And my first question is he stupid? And she knows exactly what I mean. Meaning, is he stupid in the sense that he has no drive, no ambition, could give two shits about anything and just kind of trudges along through school or life or whatever? Or does he play sports, and is he competitive? Is he aggressive? Is he masculine, which is weird to say about like a 15 or 16-year-old, but you know what I mean? Is he a soy boy or is he a patriot? That's what it comes down to. And she, thank goodness. I mean, you can raise them right all day long, but you can't determine how they feel about whatever. But she thankfully has zero interest in wasting any time, even a side eye for a soy boy. Never going to happen. She understands that there are winners and there are losers, and you do not want to align yourself with losers, because then how can you become a winner if you're constantly surrounded by losers? It doesn't work like that. If you want to better yourself and do better in life, you don't hang out with people who have zero ambition, zero goals, zero drive. You never want to be the smartest person in the room, the richest person in the room, the bravest person in the room. You always want to have something to strive for, right? And if you're surrounded by participation trophy mentality, you're never going to get anywhere in life. So that is my high horse conversation. Sorry about that. Got a little off track there. But that's what I think Donald Trump is going to bring back to this country, is the ability to recognize that being a follower or just a get in liner is nothing, and it's not going to get you anywhere in life. Do you really want to be that person who at 35 or 40 has to move back home with mom because you won't get a job, or because you can't control your spending, or because you don't do even the bare minimum at work and you get fired? Like all these random things. Donald Trump is not going to put up with that shit. Like I was watching this compilation of him in interviews and at the press, whatever the crap it's called, where Karine Jean-Pierre stands and all these different things. And he is very masculine and direct. Like if he's talking to somebody and somebody talks out of turn, he says, "I wasn't talking to you, wait your turn," and goes back. And I'm like, oh, yes, that's what we need. We need that aggressiveness back in this country, instead of this placate everything and simp for everybody. Like, ew. So I'm so happy Donald Trump will be back in office on January 20th. Please understand, I am so incredibly happy about that. Anyway, let's move on to something different. Where am I? We could talk about this. Randomly, Senator Padilla, this is out of California, and he's announced that California will use tax dollars to cover legal fees for illegal migrants facing deportation. I don't know if you heard that. Let me tell you again. If you live in California and you pay taxes in California, and you're hoping that your taxes are going to go towards fixing the streets or keeping you safe or stopping wildfires or any of that kind of stuff, no. Your tax dollars, my dear, are going towards legal fees for illegal migrants that are facing deportation. Yeah. Okay, then. So California needs to get its ass kicked. Like, who? Here's the thing. Gavin Newsom, I'm pretty sure, can't be governor next time because term limits, right? They need a governor. This is a senator, Senator Padilla, but they need a governor in California who is going to fix it. We've already talked about this, that Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, even though they had the surgery and everything, it's still difficult for me because your chromosomes are still a man. Your pelvis, when you die and they get to your bones, they're going to know you were a dude. Doesn't really matter. They're going to wonder what the hell happened to you, but they're going to know you were a dude. Caitlyn Jenner wants to run for governor, but I'm hearing that so does Kamala Harris. Ma'am, you think that if you couldn't make it as president, that California would want you as Listen, if California is stupid enough to vote Kamala Harris in as governor, I hate to say it, but you're going to get what you deserve, or you deserve what you get. One of those two things. Can you imagine watching Kamala Harris blow through over $1 billion in under 100 days and think to yourself, she'd be great for California. She'll do great things for our economy. Bro, imagine what she would have done to this country. Dodged a motherfucking bullet with that one. She raised the most money ever for a presidential candidate, because she's not a nominee. Nobody nominated her bitch ass. For a presidential candidate, raised the most money, and then spent the most money. How do you spend $1 billion in 100 days? Remember that show, Supermarket Sweep, where you could run through the supermarket and grab everything you wanted? You know what I couldn't do? Fit $1 billion worth of shit in my cart. Even if you gave me 100 days to do so, would never happen. I have no clue how this woman spent that money. I'm pretty sure, I was talking to my husband about this, I'm pretty sure that money, that $1 billion, was spent to pay back some stuff, to launder somewhere along the way. Because, I mean, what's her name? Beyonce got $10 million. Cardi B did that shit for free. She's not very smart. I'm pretty sure Bruce Springsteen got paid. We know Al Sharpton got paid. We know Oprah got paid. But all of them combined, not $1 billion. Where the hell did the money go? Was it for all the buses? Buses are expensive. It's not that expensive, right? Buses are expensive, but it's still not $1 billion worth. The arenas that she was in housed what, like 200 people? So it's not like she was spending a bunch of money there. She was taking Air Force Junior from point A to point B. So again, where did the money go? Oh, I saw something about White House and snowing in the White House. I was telling my husband earlier, I said the fact that they just pardoned Hunter Biden, I said, now they're going to quit asking questions about all that coke that was in the White House. And Kamala's like, whew, finally, they're going to quit looking into it. I'm safe, whatever it is that she does. Anyway, so you have this guy in California saying that they're going to use taxpayer money to cover legal fees for illegal migrants. While at the same time, you have tent cities of homeless people. You have crime rates through the roof. You have drug use through the roof. You have all these issues that really need to be tackled in California, but instead they're going to use your money, boo-boo, to cover the legal fees of people who aren't even legal. I heard when I was little that I should never move to California because of all the earthquakes, it was just going to fall off the United States and sink to the bottom of the ocean. And right about now, I'm thinking, couldn't happen to a better state, right? Like, ooh, it's not okay. Not okay. Oh, speaking of California, you're not ready for this. I promise you're not ready for this. Make sure you're in a calm space where if you yell or curse, that you're not going to get in trouble. Don't be eating or drinking. Okay, you ready? California legislature passes bill reducing penalties for oral anal sex with willing children. That is all. That is all. That is all. We don't need to go into full detail there, but that is all. So, yeah, that makes you want to punch somebody in the dick. Like, who decided that was okay? It obviously had to have been a man. It's a bunch of men who are deciding that things like that are okay. Disgusting. So much grossness going on in this country because of these same people in power who are using their power to ensure that the grossness continues. That is all. That is all. We could do more, but my head is still hurting rather severely. And the other conversation I want to have is more Trump-based, but with the women who have been losing their minds over the last couple weeks, who are giving all women a bad name because they're all so incredibly effing stupid. We're going to have that conversation tomorrow, I think. Yeah. Oh, we'll do this last one, and then I'm going to let you guys go because my head is all spinny. So Donald Trump posted, and Gunther Eagleman said, the warning has been delivered. Let me show you this. This is what we're going to read real quick, okay? This is a post from Donald Trump. He says, everybody is talking about the hostages who are being held so violently, inhumanely, and against the will of the entire world in the Middle East, but it's all talk and no action. Please let this truth serve to represent that if the hostages are not released prior, meaning before January 20th, 2025, the date that I proudly assume office as President of the United States, there will be, in all caps, all hell to pay in the Middle East. And for those in charge who perpetrated these atrocities against humanity, those responsible will be hit harder than anybody has been hit in the long and storied history of the United States of America. Release the hostages now. So, just going to let you know. Now you've got people going, well, this is the guy who said he was going to keep us out of wars. Please remember please remember, in case you have forgotten, not y'all, just if any Democrat happened to find their way into my live stream, they're probably crying. But if you're here, just this is for you. Please remember, when Donald Trump was in office, we didn't have wars. You know why? Because he put his foot down. That's what happens when you have the father figure show up and put his foot down. Then you have, Biden coming in, bitch ass, whatever, with, tiptoeing around, not doing anything. That's where we have issues. And now we're in the middle of all kinds of shit with Ukraine, with China, with Russia, with Iran, with Israel, with whoever else. Everybody's, trying to get a lick at us, right? But you have Donald Trump come in and he says, listen, no, daddy's home. This is not going to work. You're going to fix this right now. I suggest you fix it before. It's one of those things where you're the kid, dad's at work, and he calls you and he says, I'm headed home. If that shit is not taken care of by the time I get there, please understand there will be hell to pay. I've got the belt. I'll take it off. Let's get to it. This is him saying that. This is him giving every other country out there fair warning that he is almost home. And as soon as he steps in that house, if you are not on your P's and Q's, he's going to let it be known that it's not okay. And he's going to do what needs to be done to ensure that people fall in line as they should, as they did the first 4 years he was in office. So there's that. It does feel a little weird calling Donald Trump daddy. Not even going to lie. A little too old for me. But anyway, not the point. Y'all, I love you immensely. Thanks for hanging out with me for this. I am now going to go drink some more water and maybe a Tylenol or something. I don't know, but my head is killing me. I love you guys immensely. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, if you're interested. What's tomorrow? Tuesday, we'll say hopefully 10:45 Central Time-ish. So 11:45 Eastern, 9:45 Mountain, 8:45 Pacific. I think that's how we go this way. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Yes? Okay, y'all have a good rest of your Monday night, my dudes. I love you. Goodbye. Adios.